Debt factoring. Okay, we're going to take a look at debt factoring. Now, debt factoring is one of those complex areas of the financial part of your business course that you may struggle to understand. However, it's really quite simple. Debt factoring actually means simply selling off your debts. So it's purposely with the aim of getting in the money much quicker for the short term. So we're going to take a look at an example which hopefully will try and explain how debt factoring works. Okay, let's look at the typical business. A typical business tends to sell goods or services to the customer. And most businesses will provide credit. Now remember, credit is when you may buy now and pay later. So typically maybe 30 days, 60 days, 90 days credit that you give to your customers. Hopefully they'll normally sell the product and then pay you, and they tend to be able to pay that money off and they're quite happy and they'll come back and buy some more from you. However, not all customers sadly pay their bills on time. Some simply don't pay at all. So let's take this example. We've got a factory here and it sells typically to products which go to shops. All the customers of the factory, which are the shops, get 30 days credit. So in theory they should all pay the factory within 30 days so they can sell that stock and then pay them 30 days later. Now, the factory has got a loan from the bank which he took out to buy some machinery. The problem is that it has to pay back its next repayment on the loan at the end of the month. So it's due. Now the factory has been very poor with its cash flow management and it's got a cash flow problem because some customers have not been paying their bills on time and they haven't been chasing it up. They've been allowing them to pay later than 30 days and this has been continuous. And as you probably know, if you don't ask somebody to pay, some people simply won't pay. So there's going to be a problem here because if they don't pay their bills to the bank, then quite simply the bank is going to repossess some of their assets. It is going to take off what the business owns. It could, in the worst case, shut the business down. So this is serious. They've got to make that repayment to the bank. So what can they do? Well, the factory needs money quickly. They've got to make that repayment, and to get that capital they've got to start thinking about selling off some of their debts. And this is where debt factoring comes in. The company, the factory, can go along to a debt factoring company and they can say, do you want to buy our debt? And hopefully they'll say, yes, we'll buy them and we'll give you some money instantly. Now in our company's case, they've got £1 million outstanding from its customers. However, the debt factoring company will give them £400,000 for their debts. So they're getting a lot less, but of course remember they're selling their risk. So what we're going to do is we look at this idea of they've got the money, they've got £400,000, so because they've got that money they can now pay the bank back for their loan. They give them the repayment. That keeps the bank happy and that instantly improves the cash flow of the company. However, that now means that the shops who used to owe money to the factory now actually owe the money to the debt factoring company. So things may change. Where before they got away with not paying for 31, 32, 33 days, they may now get charged interest if they don't make the payment back. So the debt has now been passed off. It's no longer the problem of the factory. It's now somebody else's problem. However, you've got instant money, but you've got a lot less money. Remember, the debt factoring company only makes a profit once it gets more than £400,000 back from the people that owe the money in this case. Okay, hopefully that's very quick and you should now understand what debt factoring is and how it can be used by a business. Try to keep it quite simple. Obviously it tends to be a last option for most companies. They don't want to use debt factoring because remember it costs you money. Don't forget to give me a follow on Twitter and YouTube, and remember to check out our brand new website bbusinessb.co.uk where you can find lots of new resources.